the drawing room, everybody. Haven't been here in a while.
Oh, yes.
So, we want to talk about the primitive decorating journey.
Okay.
How it's never too late.
Never.
You can start anytime you want. Mm-hmm. And I know some of you have gotten inspired from our videos. Thank you. And wanted to go on this primitive journey. So we just kind of came up with a few things, and we'll bounce them off. You can start at any age. And
How old were you when you started?
Oh God, I was probably in my late 20s.
Really? Late 20s?
Yeah. But I also collected different kinds of things at that point.
Okay.
So I had my own apartment, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I've always liked old things. So I would go to thrift stores and purchase things. Obviously, those weren't the best things, but they looked cool and they were nice. And of course, you can turn around and resell them when you're done. So it was all good. So I had a cute little apartment, and then got married, and still liked old things, but again, money was tight. But I had some oak things and some old things and old family beds and things like that. And then it just became do I want to call it an obsession?
Sure.
Okay.
You might as well admit it.
All right. My name is Alice. So, and the more I'd see, the more I just became interested in it, and then now I was married, had a full house to decorate and all that, and then you learn about things, and I ended up meeting this woman who became a good friend of mine, and who had an antique shop in her store, and she allowed me to put things on layaway for a long time.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to afford some of the pieces.
Oh.
So I guess one of my suggestions is start with a base, which is your home. Everybody, you have a home, you could have a mobile home, you can have an apartment, you can have an old home, a new home, any kind of home, a duplex, it doesn't matter. That's your base that you start with. And then the ways to get to that primitive place, one of the things is paint.
Paint is the best tip ever.
And it's probably the least expensive.
Yeah.
So I would suggest, paint your woodwork or have someone do it for you. I would suggest keeping your walls a neutral color, whether it's white or off-white or light beige or whatever. Then your collections kind of jump out at you. My other home, I had stenciling, which I loved. When I came here, I decided I was not going to do that, and I wanted to change it up a little bit. Right. So that would be my suggestion as far as your base. Now, if you have floors, it doesn't matter what kind of floors.
Let's go back to paint a minute.
Okay, paint. Love
paint, we like the Benjamin Moore,
yes,
the historic, and the Williamsburg collections.
Yes.
Right.
Also, some of my colors are the California paints.
Right.
Now, I know Benjamin Moore can mix them for you, so that's not a problem. They just had certain colors that I liked better than the Ben Moore colors when I was building this home.
Right.
But Ben Moore is probably
most accessible.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But the California paints are very nice.
Yeah, they're very, certain colors are really, really nice.
Yeah.
So that's what I would start, because paint is one way to, your baseboards, your trim, your doors. That's what they would have done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, paint used to be like $27 a gallon. I remember that. And when they were 25, and then they went to 27, and I was like, now it's more like 80.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's still probably
the cheapest
cheaper
way
than anything else you're going to do.
To get the biggest bang for your buck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you can't change everything at once.
No.
But you can paint everything at once. So that's what I would start. And the next thing would be your floors.
Right.
Well, if you have wood floors, you're good.
Yep.
Okay?
Any kind.
It doesn't matter whether they're skinny, whether they're oak, whether they're dark, whether they're light. It doesn't really matter. If you hate your floors, or you think they're in bad condition, you could paint those.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very old primitive look. That's what they did. If the floors didn't match, which I'm sure, if they were trying to repair them and they didn't, they painted them. So you could paint them and then you could also stencil.
Yeah.
So that's one way. But floors are floors. I don't think people really notice that quite as much.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And then you put down your rugs.
Right.
Again, and you can do braided, you can do oriental, you can do rag, you can do all, and you can combine them all. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, because if something new and better came along, they would have been on it.
And floor cloths.
And floor cloths, yes,
Yeah.
those are wonderful. Yet if you're, I just want to mention, if you want to attempt to make a floor cloth, buy linoleum, turn it over, paint it. You don't have to size it or stiffen it. And it's an easy way to do it and paint it, put your stencil on it, and then just seal it. And you have a floor cloth. Because if you do order one, they can be pricey if they're done by a craftsperson.
Right.
But that's an easy way to get the little,
the look.
Or even, and I mean, it's the same thing, really.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what's on. Okay, we did the woodwork. Floors are good. So I know a lot of you, and which I did the same thing. You want to get rid of all the stuff that you had, and you want to be like, I want it gone. And you can do that with some of the pieces. But if you have a piece that you think might work, you could paint it. And the other pieces that you want to get rid of, maybe you put in other rooms for the time being. Because you can't buy all the pieces at once.
Right.
If you can get 1 or 2 big pieces a year,
Yeah.
I would try to, save for those.
Right.
And you can fill in with smaller collectibles. Like tin, and wood bowls. Now, I know some wood bowls are very expensive, but there's lots of wood bowls, even new wood bowls, that if you can sand them, you can ding them up, you can paint them, and you can get that old feeling.
Yeah.
While you're trying to get to that end.
Right.
Right. So you don't have to get rid of everything.
No.
And most people can't.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you won't have anything to sit on.
You're right.
And actually, the truth is, when you get all the antique chairs, you might not want people to sit on them anyway. And then you're like, well, okay,
I
my
still
house
don't
looks
have
good,
chairs.
but I don't have chairs.
I have 25 chairs, but no. I actually do try to buy chairs that people can sit in because I don't want them to feel like it's a museum.
Right.
So, plenty of the old chairs are certainly sturdy enough.
They've made it this far.
Yeah, so I figure they,
You just have to, it depends who's sitting on them.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, the other thing is when you do get rid of furniture, if you can sell it, great, because then that gives you money for more things or projects that you might want to do.
Okay.
Talking about walls, well, I just have it in my mind. Paint is great. Murals are awesome, but not everybody maybe wants something that permanent. A lot of the wallpapers now are mural. So if you want that look, say for above a chair rail, and you want to do it on one wall, that's certainly a possibility that maybe is obviously less expensive than an artist painting a mural.
And a lot of them are peel and stick, so you can peel them off too.
So that's another option if you want to get some other kind of color, or say you have a long wall and you don't really know what to do with it. You put a wallpaper, it's like putting a picture up on it, and you're done.
Yep.
You can't put other things over it, but so let's see what else. You can always call Susan Dwyer. She travels and she'll do murals.
She will. You have to be able to pay her.
Yes, that's why
she won't do it for free.
Right, and she is an artist, and she gets paid.
She earns her keep.
Yeah, and her work's beautiful. One of the things that I did earlier on was, in order to get those. Well, I didn't make friends with antique dealers just to get a layaway. That's not what I did.
Opportunist.
She became my friend over time, and she was also willing to share a lot of information with me.
Okay.
So I kept ask questions, and you can say, hey, I really want to start, and do you have layaway? And chances are they do. But she was wonderful. She knew that I was going to, she was my friend, and I was going to pay her. And it allowed me to get my collection because my kids were younger and I didn't have that kind of money to spend.
Right.
Also, go to yard sales.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to find.
Now, Facebook Marketplace, yard sales.
There's so many, there's so many places to look. Just so you feel like you're moving in that direction a little more quickly. You can fill it in with those types of things.
Yeah.
A lot of inexpensive smalls, again, tin and wood. And another thing to use is drieds. Drieds and naturals. So garlands, and some of them are like big and they make a statement.
Yep.
And you don't have to fill every nook and cranny.
Right.
Well, you are more
minimal. Yeah.
I am not so much.
Yeah. Right.
But that's a big statement.
That's a big statement. Those dried things.
Yeah, those dried things.
Well, and then I think about this too. If you want to start something and get rid of everything, you can start more minimal and just choose your pieces wisely.
Yes.
And then build on that and eventually fill your house back up. But at least then you feel like you have that statement right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you can get there fairly quickly.
Yeah.
It might take a little work, again, painting things or a little bit of work. But again, I think if your base is there, then you have something now to build on.
So I'm going to call out Annette right now because she's one of our viewers.
Okay.
And she has been watching us and she has been redoing her house.
Awesome.
And it's just looking so good. Like every time she'll send me a picture, I'm like, wow. Yeah. And she's just hit it full force and said, I like the primitive style and we're going to redo it.
Yeah.
And so it is possible even to do it quickly.
It is.
It turns into like an obsession. You have to obsess about that to get that done.
But it's also joyful. It's not
so
like
fun.
It's any work.
Oh, no. It's fun.
It's a good obsession.
Absolutely.
And it brings a lot of pleasure, and you meet a lot of kindred spirits
yes, you
along
do.
the way.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to mention in kindred spirits, we met a couple weeks ago, or last week? A couple weeks ago, maybe.
I think it was last week. I think it was a week ago.
People have come up to, I'm sure, Anne and myself, different places that we've been, and they've sought us out and they've chatted. And I just want to say that it just tickles me, that you're enjoying the videos so much and that we've inspired you. We're so passionate about it. And there's nothing better if you're passionate passing that on to someone else.
That's so true.
It really is.
No, it's really true. Yeah. And I love to be somewhere and people are like, Anne,
I know.
I heard your laugh,
Yeah, or they'll say to me, I recognize you from your hair. Okay, I'm good with that. Or else, I had one woman, I was in Middleborough, I told you this earlier, and there's 2 levels, and I was up on one. I kind of noticed her, but not really. And I went downstairs, and she goes, I'm not following you, but are you Alice? and then we just stuck, basically talked an hour. So that's a lot of fun. We enjoy that, I think.
We do.
And, but it always kind of takes me aback because I never expect to be recognized.
Right.
And I'm like, oh.
Right.
You're Alice. Yes, I am.
It just goes to show you all better be in your best behavior and not be fighting with your husband when you're out shopping because that's what I know you.
That's Alice. Oh my God.
She's such a fake.
Another thing, textiles. You can use new textiles, old textiles. Pieces of textiles are a great thing to add color and soften. A lot of times you'll see I might have something draped over a chair. I don't think you can see the cupboard behind me. Probably not. Again, I have a piece draped over. And if you find pieces that have holes, or even things like old rugs that you can get for not a lot of money that are damaged, fold them, stack them, and you have that nice warm look and color, because I have a bunch of rugs that, they're really not, I don't want to put them down because they're going to get more destroyed than they already are, but folded up and stacked, it's a nice look. And it's a nice way to fill something up. So you can do, as far if you have a cupboard, even if you have like a newer cupboard, take the doors off, grunge it up a bit or sand it, and then leave the shelves open, and then you can start stacking things. It doesn't have to be totally full. You can have one thing. It's good. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right, let me see what else. Did that. What else? Have I
You
talked
guys
about
love
everything?
this. Really?
What else? Turn into a form, artist. I guess I... Oh, also, there's lots of, obviously, videos. There's lots of books on primitive decorating, how to get that look for inspiration.
Yeah.
The Judy Condon books, a lot of now you can find them on like the secondary market for less money. Even magazines like A Primitive Place, they could be a few years old, but the ideas are still great. So when we were going to build this house, I had a file, and I would cut out things that I liked.
Wow.
And then, obviously, I never thought we'd build another house,
Right.
but I was all ready for when we did.
Right.
So that's always a good inspiration for decorating. So I must have left something out.
Yeah. So, collections, are very important.
Yep, collections.
They keep you focused on things.
Yes.
So that's kind of good.
Yep. What else? On YouTube, or even there's lots of projects you can do. That you can probably do, even if you're not an artist, that you could do. It's simple.
Yeah.
One of the things is even just boards, just maybe staining them and sanding them and distressing. You can get you can get an old look and put that somewhere. It could just be a plain board. You could then, if it was a big enough board, you could then put it against the wall, and it could be a backdrop. You can fill up those blank spaces,
Right.
without a lot of money.
I used to use doors.
Yes.
You find an old door and I'd stick it against the wall.
Yeah.
Put a wreath on it.
Yep.
Done.
Or even, pieces of doors that you can use for some, or if you have a husband or somebody that's handy, they have
Doors
them,
into tables.
Yeah, or make things. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
So,
sense. Yeah.
I think you can get there fairly quickly.
I think you can.
Yeah.
I think you can.
It's funny though, when you talk to all people that love primitives, they started out with different kinds of old things. This is like a universal story. I hear it every single time. Oh, they started out with oak, and then they saw this, and then all the oak, they went home and the oak was gone.
Right.
And then they started more primitive, and then trading up, and then even myself, things that I didn't like in the beginning, like I didn't like treen. I thought it was ugly and dirty. And I didn't like redware either.
Really? Oh, I didn't either.
But as you go on the journey and you learn more and you talk to dealers and they tell you more, you just get caught up in it.
Right.
Now I sound like I'm a crazy person, but you do. We're all crazy and we all love it, and it's the exact same journey.
Yeah.
Some of us become vendors.
Right.
Because you can only put so many things in your house. So, but you still like to buy. So, so now I can actually buy things which I like to do and say, I'm selling this, I'm reselling it. So, or else, gee, I really love this piece. What can I get rid of in my house? So that's why I ended up becoming a vendor. And it's that universal story you hear all the time.
So, what do you think? What do you think the future of PRIM is? Because so many people who collect PRIM right now are in their 60s, 70s, 80s. Where do you think it's going to go?
I think that there are always going to be people that love it because I think it's such a warm style.
Okay.
Now, when we're all gone, those 30-somethings are going to be in 50s, or so maybe they'll change. I think you're basically recycling, and that's a big thing that people are thinking of, not wasting resources, not throwing things away. So that's what we do. We're the best recyclers.
Right.
I recycle to you.
Yes.
You recycle to this one.
Yes.
Somebody recycles to me. Funny thing is, there's so many. I've gone places and I've seen things that were mine that I sold, and it's just like one big circle. So I don't. Maybe it won't be as pop. I know that in the 90s it was popular, and it changed a little bit. The style changed a little bit,
Right.
But I think it's such a homey, comforting style. I don't think it will. It may change a little bit, but I don't think it'll ever totally go out. And you're always going to have people that are antique lovers. That's a given.
Right. And I guess you're going to have pockets where people are, like, you're going to have the people in New England, the people down south along the coast where people also, were there earlier, some down Kentucky, you'll have the Ohio, Midwest,
And they'll have their own
style.
Primitive style.
Right.
So I guess the thing for me about living with antiques is that there's history, you don't know the history, but someone had it before you. That's what intrigues me. How did they use this? Someone lived with this piece.
Right.
Someone loved this piece so much they repaired it.
Right.
Someone loved this piece so much they repainted it. So I don't think it will ever totally go away. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll just be less popular, and maybe in certain New England I think is always going to be, because there's so much of it here. I don't think it can ever go away.
No.
But
Interesting.
that's my thought. I could be all wrong, but that's my thought.
I hope it doesn't go away.
No,
because it would be really, you see these old houses that are getting demolished,
and
it makes you
breaks
sick.
my heart.
It makes you absolutely sick, and then you think.
But then you see the ones that people move and restore and don't let them go.
Yes.
And they need not to let these homes go, because that's history. You're just wiping it out.
Right. Well, and this is something else we found in Nantucket when we were there. In Sconset, in particular, all these old beach cottages that really were built in the 16 and 1700s, because they were whalers' cottages. Some people are purchasing them. They have to leave it the same because of the ordinances in the town.
Yes.
But in the inside, they're gutting them out and making them modern. So you've got a lot of that going on too. So,
I know. And sometimes you can't fix it.
Right.
Unfortunately, we had to tear down the home that was here. But there was just no way that we could even, it would have cost us more to repair that than it would to build this house.
Right.
Because it had asbestos.
Okay.
It had all of that. But I think we did right by the house, because we did recycle as many things as we could back to the family, back to people who took things. And we saved a lot of the materials as much as we could to reuse in the house.
Right.
And that's the unfortunate best that we could do.
Right. Right.
But then we bought all these old things to go in it. Which is great.
Yes.
So, but I think it's a wonderful style. I just don't think it's ever going to go away.
I hope.
I hope it doesn't.
I hope it doesn't.
It'd be kind of sad.
It would be very.
But I
sad.
won't be here probably to know that. But
right.
I'd be.
No, it's true. We won't be here.
We won't be here.
We won't be here to be sad.
We won't be here to be
And someday YouTube might be gone, so all these videos might be gone. But then if YouTube is still around, 30 years from now, someone finds this and they're like, who are these people?
Yeah.
And we will no longer be around.
I know.
But we might still be sharing the love.
We might.
Yeah. So
we're trying to share the love.
we're trying to share
We're
love.
sharing the love. Our love of antiques, our love of decorating, whatever else.
Sharing our laughs.
Yes,
So,
yes.
This is good, Alice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this was
Wonderful.
good. So I hope
Yeah.
you all don't get intimidated by it, because you want to be joyful doing it. And if it takes a little longer, well, it's all good. It's all good.
It's in the process too.
It is a process, and when you're kind of done. Not that you're ever done, but when you're kind of like, oh,
yeah,
done.
Yeah, I know.
No, I can't be done.
No,
I can't. Oh, I got to think of another project.
Well,
that's what I do.
You get your high boy, and then everything goes.
And then it's like,
best get upset.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, I think I want to do this project. I'm like, Alice, why are you thinking of more projects? It's what I do.
It's what you do.
Because I really never want it to end.
No.
And it's always constantly changing.
Well, the other thing I think that people can do is focus on one room. So, that way you can have one perfect room.
Exactly.
So you're like, okay, I want to make my living room in the front of my house totally prim. And you start with that.
Right.
And then you sit there. That's your room. You sit there, you absorb it, you love it. And then you can branch out to another room. That way you're not, taking it all on at once.
Well, the other thing, too, is if you're not using all of the rooms, say you're a grandparent or whatever, not using the other rooms, just shove stuff in there and close the doors.
Yes.
And because sometimes it gets overwhelming if you feel every single room is in disarray and nothing is like you would like it to be.
Right.
So close it off.
I do that.
That's what I do when my kids come home. I close those doors because I don't want to look in there while your clothes are all over the floor.
Yeah.
But I think that helps you focus a little better because it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
To see everything in disarray. So that was a good point, I think.
Yeah. I do that at Christmas. I take things out. It all goes in one room.
Yep.
Then it all goes to the barn, and then it makes its way to storage.
Right.
But it goes in spurts. And so there are rooms that I will have closed all the time that people can't come in.
Right. It's fine. It is what it is.
Those are my storage rooms.
Yeah. So, but it can, for me, it's not overwhelming, but I know it can be overwhelming for people.
Right.
I'm like, I'm so visual that I just absorb it in and I love it all. But if it does get confusing, or if I will do that. I'll just put things in cupboards and go, okay. Or I don't know where I want this to go. Like I had a couple things I needed to put up, and I'm like, well, I don't know where to go, so I just put them over, and I figured it out later.
Sure. You don't have to do it all in one day.
No. Not unless you have company coming over, and then it's like, I gotta hang that thing.
That's what it makes you do. Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Invite people over. That's what it does. And you get a lot of projects done.
You do. Or don't invite people over, and then you won't get anything done. There's that too. I'm just gonna keep people away from my house. I have this spot behind one of my doors because I'm gonna paint the room, and I was trying a color, and then I bought the paint, and I've never painted the room. So open the door, and you're, that was
Oh, she's starting to paint.
I'm starting to paint, and I haven't fit, which is why people are probably like, you never showed us the rest of your house. I'm like, because I never painted it.
The other thing, I keep thinking of things that people can do. Simple wainscoting is another way to, make your room look prim, and you don't even need to. You can just lay the pieces on like that, so it looks recessed with the pieces on top, and then paint it. So that's another way. Yeah. Or you could just do it halfway up.
Shiplap.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do, because in my old house there are those boards. They're like 12-inch boards.
Yeah.
And you could do that, put shiplap, 12-inch boards, paint it, and you'll have that.
And then you'll have a little bit of dimension, a little bit of texture, and then if you paint it, you have color. So, if you have the base, you can get there by doing the paint thing, trim. You can get there pretty quickly.
You really can.
You can.
Yeah, you can change out the doorknobs, into the different handles. You can change out your doors. If you have the doors, and you want the old doors, have people make the doors. We saw that in Lady's condo.
You can also buy old doors. Like I know at Burnett downstairs, they have old doors.
Oh, I know Burnett has a lot of that stuff.
But if you
shutters,
and it can be, and if you it can be overwhelming if you don't want to do that. You can paint what you have, and you're halfway there until maybe you don't change all of the doors, maybe just a few. They don't have to match.
No.
Nothing has to match with this style.
No.
It does not have to match.
That's true.
Because it wouldn't have back then. The matchy-matchy thing is more of a modern concept. They moved into their house, they lived in it. I'm sure if there were any modern convenience things that came along, they would do it. So they would have the old and the newer in. So you can mix all of that different time periods.
Yeah. You really can.
You can.
We don't have to be so anal about it. You know, we can.
No.
Yeah.
And if you, and I know I probably said this before, but I'll say it again. If your colors don't match and nothing matches, then in fact it all does match. Because there's so many colors, you don't need to.
Right. That's true. You've
need
talked about that with rugs and everything.
Yes.
All the colors, you just
Doesn't
throw them
matter.
all together, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But I mean, I know that's hard for some people to do. So you still have to do what pleases your eye, not what well, so and so does this. But if you don't like it, don't do it. Only do what you like.
Well, and I think that's where people get caught. I see in some of those groups on Facebook. Does this look good? Is this okay?
Do you like it?
And the answer is always, do you like it?
Do you like it? If you do, then you know what?
Then it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Because what if every single house looked like this on this earth?
Right.
How boring.
No, that's so boring.
Boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want that.
You don't. And
you don't.
No. And part of me struggles with the primitive style because in a sense it's so set. Like there aren't new things you add to it because it was way back when, right?
Yeah, right.
And so you just picture you got your firkins and your bowls and your this and your that and your cupboards and your
Yeah.
And so it feels so set. So when you can add other things to it, it's okay. Like some people talk about, can I mix prim and modern? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because we live in modern times.
Absolutely.
So
express your style.
Yeah.
Do what you like.
Now, I know some people decorate in that really pioneer dark stuff.
Yeah.
And I love looking at it. Me personally, I couldn't live with it.
Yeah, you're more colonial. It's more light. Yeah.
But it's beautiful to look at. So
Absolutely.
And I like looking at it.
too.
I just can't live with it every day. But it's still a beautiful style.
It's gorgeous.
So you got to do what you love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not what someone else. I mean, I know people want to get advice,
right?
And that's great, but you have to love it, So do your thing, do what feels good to you.
Yeah, and educate your eyes, like by watching these kinds of
Yes.
shows, by looking at the magazines.
Yep.
You educate yourself so that you start to know what works and what doesn't. But then you can play with it.
You always can play with it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I play with furniture all the time. A new piece comes in, you move it. Or one day I was in this room and I said, I think I'm going to move these two pieces. And I'm like, why did I not do that? I've lived in the house 8 years. This looks way better. So it's good to see things with a different eye all the time.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's why I love antiques. You can move them all around. You can move them to different rooms, upstairs, downstairs. When I did the fireplace upstairs and I needed stuff, I came down to my house downstairs, shopped, and put it up there.
And then
you
had
can't
empty
even tell.
spaces. No, you can't tell. But then you fill them in.
That's right.
You're like, oh, well now.
I'm like, it's like, well, sometimes I'll take things to sell at the store, and I'll maybe, I don't know, not a ton of things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't look like I took one thing out.
Wow.
You don't even know.
No.
You don't even know. But
I know.
It's a joyful journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you need things, come to New England and go shopping to all the stores we take you to.
Yes.
And go home with a carload. And, that'll give you a good start.
That'll give you a really good start.
That gives you a really good start. It's, it's just you do it for vacation and
Yeah.
So cool. All right. Well, Alice,
this was fun.
This was fun. We've done the whole day now. The whole half day. We've eaten scones.
We've been in the drawing room. We've been in the kitchen. Outside the porch.
The other room. The
nautical room.
We were in the bedroom. We've been all over.
We have been.
So this is the end of a long series. It's going to take weeks to get out there.
It's going to be a year's worth of videos.
I know. You're wearing the same shirt and everyone. Like,
I know.
Changed your clothes. But,
I should have done a fashion show like me. I got white pants.
Yeah, this is the way we could change the outfit. I wear my white pants and I change my shirt.
You had brought clothes too.
I know, and I just, it's summer, and I'm like, tie-dye day, yeah. Which I was sitting here thinking, tie-dye and this doesn't really match, but whatever,
Sure, it doesn't matter. And it was nice to use the drawing room.
Yes, it was.
Because
we love the drawing room.
I love the drawing room too.
I know, I walked in here and went, oh yeah. I do that with every room of your house, though.
Oh, I love that room. I'll never forget the first time you came. You come in and you go, oh. You must have said that, and I just cracked me up.
Well, because you met me at Primitive Goods, introduced yourself, you were a vendor, and you're like, I'd like to show my house. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And then I come in and I'm just,
that was so funny though.
But I'm still like that when I come in, even though I've been here a million times now, I'm still like,
And the thing is, I see it every day, so I know when Linda and Alan came, I think it was a bit overwhelming, and but I live with this every day,
Sure.
so I go, oh, it probably does seem overwhelming. So we went very slowly. In fact, my husband came out. I think it took us 2 hours.
wow,
We
I
went
believe
through
that.
the house. And,
Yeah.
Well, my husband, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm still talking. Don't worry, still talking.
They were very lucky to have you do that, because that was like
just
a
sort of
personal
spur,
tour.
It was like a spur of the moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but it was a lot of fun. It's fun meeting all you guys.
It is. Not that Alice is going to give you all tours of her house. But we are talking about having meetups, and actually someone
I didn't know
contacted
of
me.
this.
Oh, you weren't there.
No.
So we are talking about having meetups with Mel and Lainey and you and I, and maybe like meet at a restaurant or something, meet somewhere where all the viewers can come and talk to us in person. And like there was someone who talked about being in Concord in September. Maybe we want to do that, or maybe we want to go to Wayside Inn sometime and do a meetup.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So we're kind of thinking about that.
Yeah. That might be fun.
That could be fun. So there'll be more about that as we decide what it's going to be.